lot of different presentations. I film a lot of different live events. And so working with Pat, it's been awesome because she's very engaged. Like, she interacts with the audience, and she's very focused. Her presentation is very on track, and she kind of sticks with her theme and focus. So it's very easy to understand and very easy to relate to. It's got more of a conversational tone to it, so it's not really dry and stiff. It's more, it makes you kind of feel more relaxed and feel like you're actually having a conversation rather than just sort of being lectured at.
It was about autism and neurodevelopmental disorders and sensory processing.
Okay. And how do you think it went?
I think it went extremely well.
What things did you like most about it?
I liked the format of the presentation because I felt that the pacing was conducive to learning. There was a lot of information, but it was spread out evenly throughout the entire day. I also like the fact that there weren't a lot of technical terms that were used and that everything was, I guess, user-friendly, so to speak. And I think that the information is easily relatable to all different disciplines as well as families.
Okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually start the afternoon with an activity to help you all feel like you have a developmental coordination disorder, which is one of the neurodevelopmental disorders. And it's the part of developmental coordination disorder called dysgraphia. Now, that's a fancy Latin word. It's in two parts. Dys means difficulty. Graphia means the writing process. And I bring this up because, as you saw on the Ramo, the finger window was very difficult, and that can relate into it. So I first have to teach you a little bit of child development to understand how dysgraphia occurs. Now, you all know when babies are born, they start out like this, right? They don't start out going, woo-hoo, right? They all have fist grips. And you may put your finger in there and say, look, they're holding my finger. But no, they're not, silly. It's just reflex. So they're kind of like this. And then they're kind of checking out the world here. And they see something they want right there. But they can't get it because they don't know how to move anything yet. So they have to figure out how to talk to their muscles, to get their muscles to move, to get first their arms to move. And then as they get down there and they still can't do anything because it's not coordinated enough with big muscles, they have to figure out how to move the muscles in their fingers. And so they start doing, that shoveling kind of response. But finally, by 9 months of age, most of them have reached the pincer grasp so they can pick up those Cheerios. We know Cheerios, yes. Either eat them or they drop them on the floor and watch us catch them. So as soon as they hit that stage, then they start noticing that people around them, maybe brothers and sisters, moms and dads, daycare providers, those people are playing with something that looks like this stick. And when they play with it, something ends up on paper or ends up on this other thing over here. So they want to learn that too. And so they figured out how to grab it because now they have their fingers working. And they grab it again in a fist. And they go, I'm now going to be a drawer like everybody else. And they start drawing. And they get all these lines, and then they look at their brother's drawing. How come his looks like that and mine looks like this? I like his better. How does he do that? So then he tries to figure out. And then eventually he can figure out how to move it this way. Oh, I got circles now. But they're probably still holding with a fist. But they see that their brother, their sister, their mom or dad do some really neat stuff that they can't seem to do with their shoulders and their elbows. And so they got to figure out how to move it down here. And they start working to get their brains and their fingers to talk to each other. And they find that if they start using less fingers, that they actually can move that pencil better. Until between 4 or 5 years of age, they develop into what's called a tripod grasp. one finger on each side to stabilize, and the one on top to really create that fine detail.
Well, I got several things out of this. Mostly it was that there is a greater standard. I'm a homeschool mother, so there's a division there, and yet there's not. So when I'm looking at my son as my student and all of his developmental needs, seeing that a lot of the underlying behavior really isn't behavior, it's a processing, cognitive processing issue.